Hi everybody, and welcome back to the Fly Tante. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and click on the little bell so you'll receive notifications whenever I add new content. Today I'm coming to you from Santiago, Chile. Chile is a country in South America which shares 6,000 miles of coastline. However, the city of Santiago is located inland, so we aren't on the water at this moment, but we have had a chance to visit a city called Valparaiso, which I'll also talk a little bit about. So to begin, as with any place, it always starts with the people. And so the people here have been warm and welcoming and very helpful to us. We are a bit challenged with the language because we aren't finding as many English speakers here as in other parts of South America, but that's okay. It's forcing us to draw on our 8th grade Spanish class and try to remember some of the key terms and phrases. But as I said, people have been very helpful. Chile, Santiago is not unlike New York City. It's a huge city full of skyscrapers. There are vendors all along the streets and musicians you'll hear as you walk about. There are areas that are clearly upper and middle class with nice housing and shopping malls. And then there are those areas which are a little bit dusty and grimy and in fact suspect. We've been advised to be cautious as we move about because of the crime here, but we have not felt unsafe, and we would be cautious no matter where we are in the world, including in the United States. Another funny thing here, we found ourselves counting black people when we were in Peru, and we ran into two women as we were walking down the street in Cusco, and they tapped us on the shoulder because they were so happy to see us, and so we greeted one another. They were in Peru for a yoga retreat. But we haven't found the need to count black people here in Peru because they are quite plentiful. It's unclear though what percentage are recent immigrants versus those who have been here since the transatlantic slave trade or through other periods throughout Chile's history. But we are finding quite a few other black people. So and nobody seems to notice us at all, and in fact come up to us speaking Spanish expecting that we'll be able to respond. So it's always nice to be somewhere where you feel like you fit in instead of standing out. A few other things about Chile. We visited a town called Valparaiso, which is located on the coast, and it was a beautiful little town. One of the observations I've made in all of the South American countries I've visited is the amount of graffiti and street art. And I think not unlike the United States, where graffiti started in the 1970s in Philadelphia, and I remember it well having grown up there. There was a street artist or graffiti artist named Cornbread, and he was really one of the first. That evolved with the advent of an organization called the Anti-Graffiti Network. And so what started out as graffiti really evolved to become some of the most beautiful murals you will find anywhere in the world. And certainly I invite you to take a look if you're ever in Philadelphia. We found the same thing here. So in Valparaiso, the streets are just lined with all kinds of beautiful artwork. It is a city with many universities and students, and so they use the wall art as a way of expressing themselves politically and socially. One funny thing that happened was there was a piece of art that had Donald Trump surrounded by police and military. And the artist, the guide made it a point to ask if there were any Americans in the group, and Wilma and I were the only two. And he pointed out that this is your president. And as if on cue, we both said, he is not our president. So that was it was a little funny when it occurred, and the rest of the group laughed. But again, the art is absolutely magnificent, and I'll include a few pictures in a few minutes. Just a few other observations. They have a very sophisticated mass transit system, including subways and more buses than I have ever seen anywhere in the world. So people, are able to move around freely. You do get a sense, again, that you're in a major metropolitan area. This is one of the few places where we've seen homeless people and people that clearly have mental health issues. And so we really hope that the government is addressing those, as we hope in other places as well. So, but Chile has been a nice experience. For me, I think it's a one and done, although it was interesting, but I much preferred Peru so far in with all of its richness of culture. And that's not to suggest there's no culture in Chile, but here in Santiago, you don't really see much of it, except for the crafts, the local crafts that are sold nearby. So from here, I'm headed to La Paz, Bolivia, and so I'm looking forward to seeing what Bolivia has to hold and has to offer. It's my first time there, and so I'm really excited about seeing it. So until next time, that's all from me, the Fly Tanti. Have a good one.
con mi sueño más dorado que era una mujer, algo mayor que yo. Ella tenía 35 y yo 18 para mi favor. Amoroso empezó por regalarme 2 camisas y un vestido para que yo se los diera a mi mamá. A eso le siguió una lluvia de pequeños